Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today I'm going to be talking about Saving the World in Other Extreme Sports by James Patterson, and this is book 3 in the Maximum Ride series. Now, I just gotta say, this has to be my favorite book in the series thus far. I don't know why, I really don't, it just is. There's something about it that I love. And a lot of stuff happens in this book, let me tell you. But since this is book 3 in a series, there's not much I can say without giving spoilers, so if you have not read this far in the series yet, and do not wish to be spoiled, I suggest you click away now and come back after you have read the book. So, like I said, a lot happens in this book, and just, oh my god. Like all the other books, this is just action-packed and awesome and very fast-paced, and I just could not put it down. Max is still trying to continue on her little journey to save the world. She still has no idea how to do that because no one is telling her anything. Which, seems kind of counterproductive in my opinion. If you want someone to save the world, it kind of makes sense to tell them what they have to do, or at least give them a path, more of a clear path to do so than what Max is getting. Instead, she gets these vague, cryptic clues and has to figure everything out on her own while trying to survive, while people are trying to kill her and her family, and just everyday problems between her and the rest of the flock. That's a lot to ask for someone who is like 14. Yet they are still expecting her to save the world, and duh! It just makes no sense. So, I'm not going to go into detail over every little thing that happened, because like I said, a lot happened. But I'll give kind of a brief idea. So, erasers, they're all gone. There are no more erasers. Basically, the entire, iTech/school organization is shutting down all the schools and terminating all experiments, including the erasers. And, like always, they're trying to kill the flock or capture them and bend them to their will. And, since the erasers are all dead, they have really no one to send after the flock. So they send these kind of weird robot things that the flock dub as flyboys. And, they come after the flock after, Max is outvoted, and they want to settle down and find a nice, relaxing place to kind of make home so they aren't always on the run. Max, of course, is like, I gotta save the world. We can't do that. But she's outvoted. The flyboys kind of come in and shatter that little settling down fancy the rest of the flock have. The flock gets captured and brought back to the school. And can I just say, I like the twist with Angel, making her seem like she is the bad guy for a few chapters and have her really be a double agent. I was pretty convinced that she had gone to the dark side for a while there. And we find out Ari has not been exterminated because, he's Jeb's son, so they're letting him live a little longer. And not that it matters, because the built-in expiration date that the erasers are born with, Ari has 2. And his date is really soon. So they figured, he's gonna die soon anyway, so we'll let him live. I really liked how Ari kind of becomes a good guy, and it was nice to see him kind of turn around there, and have Max even be willing to give him a second chance. And though I understood Fang's, anger about that, and basically him dividing the flock up, I kind of wanted to punch him in the face. So yeah, for some of the book, the flock has split. The guys go with Fang, and the girls go with Max. And basically they separate to try and figure out what the heck they are gonna do. And I like how we see, posts from Fang's blog in this book. And I like the added, touch of, people commenting to it and Fang responding to the comments. So Max, the girls, and Ari, because Ari obviously stays with Max, they go to, Europe, because that's where the voice in Max's head tells her to go. And basically, they find all these schools and branches of iTech in Europe, and they're trying to find the big honcho, the big, central area of this organization. They infiltrate this school, and they find there are a lot of other hybrids and experiments out there. And one of them happens to be Max 2, who we met in the last book. Sure, it's been only one book since she was introduced, and things went down between her and Max. But, I did wonder what happened after Max and the rest of Flock just kind of whooshed out of there after their showdown. They sent her to more or less this prison, because that's pretty much what this ITAX branch is being used for. According to her, they've been taking batches and batches of the experiments, and they've been disappearing. So it's pretty safe to assume they've been being killed. And as we find out, the head director of all this is trying to implement this by-half plan, which isn't quite a by-half plan, it's more than that. Basically, they want to kill off a large percentage of the world's population to weed out the sick and the useless, leaving, only the most able-bodied and important members of society. So, they can basically start the world anew. This is apparently the director's idea of saving the world. As you can see, there are many problems with this plan. Killing off, 3/4 of the Earth's population is not the way to go about saving the world. And, oh my god, I love the twist with the director and Max. The director claims to be Max's biological mother, and of course Max is just of course my mother is the head of all this, and she is a psychopath. And I just love her sarcastic commentary and everything throughout all this. Honestly, I laugh out loud when I read some of their dialogue with the scientists and just Max's inner monologue. I love it. I just love it. So, Fang puts his blog to good use in the meantime. He is putting out all this news about what he and the rest of Flock are finding. Max and Nudge and Angel actually, by some miracle, get a message out to him, telling them all that they have found out, and Fang uses that information to spread out this mass message throughout every single follower he has on his blog, which is quite an impressive number, and he is basically telling them to rise up and try and help take back the planet for what is theirs. And we even have kids, coming and trying to cause chaos at the building branch that Max and the other half of the Flock is at. And there's this really epic showdown, which is sadly where Ari dies, which was really sad, because we did find out that he is Max's actual half-brother. We find out that Jeb is Max's father, which, was kind of a surprise, but at the same time not, because I feel this kind of explains why Jeb had such an interest in Max and the Flock, besides just a scientific perspective. But one good bit of news that Jeb gives is that Max's mother isn't the director, so her mother isn't a crazy sociopath. It is actually Dr. Martinez, who we met in the first book, and who we actually see again in this book. So, oh my god, it made me so happy to find out that she was Max's mother. So, we end the book with them obviously becoming victorious at this ITAX branch, and the Flock is about to be reunited. Angel, Nudge, and Max are going to be going back to the US and meeting up with the guys, and hopefully they will not split again. And now that this ITAX/school thing has been, I'm assuming, taken down, where's Flock going to go from here? Does Max still have to save the world? Is there something bigger? I'm assuming there's something bigger, because there's 4 more books in the series, but, I'm curious to see where things go from here. So that is it for this book review, and I hope to see you guys next time. Keep on reading, my fellow book addicts. Keep on reading.